Now, Wendy was in a really bad car accident a while back. She can explain a little bit about it. To this day, it's been some years, she still gets tingling and burning, predominantly on eye movements is what you're telling me. So tell us a little bit about the accident. How were you were in your car, you got rear-ended, was your head turned, did you hear anything? Tell us a little bit about the accident.
I have a four-wheel drive truck, and I'm sitting at a stop sign, and a woman in a van who had been drinking ran into the car behind me and accordioned that car into my car.
Wow.
So the blunt force trauma of her hitting that car behind me broke out the windshield and the rear window in that car behind me, and it was just like smashed.
Oh.
So I herniated a disc I was just sitting, like this.
So you were looking forward,
I was
though?
looking forward.
Okay, that's good.
So I herniated a disc up around C4.
Yeah, it's a little lower than C4, but yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, that's where it happens. C4, C5, C6 is the whiplash one, so I know where you're at. But it has also some residual where she's pointing at T1, T2 area, and that can happen as a consequence of that trauma as well. The good thing that you were looking forward, because if your head was turned, that could have been worse. Now, we see a little bit of residual when we did the pass pointing and the other, and I didn't get too much into that when we looked at the other things, but we did see it there.
Yeah.
Probably from what I saw on the examination, concussion and that's pretty much gone. Probably had a concussion at that time, traumatic brain injury, somewhat, even if they didn't diagnose it.
They didn't diagnose it.
Yeah, they didn't diagnose it. So a lot different today. We're more aware of things, and unfortunately, it's just something that's misdiagnosed many times in car accidents, because if you physically don't hit your head against either the steering wheel, the side of the window, or something like that, they don't do that. I know I had a bad accident where I hit my head, and so we definitely knew I had a concussion on that one.
Yeah. But I still have pain in my neck if I go to the grocery store and I'm doing a lot of rapid eye movement down the grocery shelves looking at different items, my neck will start burning and tingling still.
All right. So part of the things we talked about with the balance, we reset that when we did that. You were doing good. So when I did the eye movements, except for the near far gaze, those are all doing better. So I'll be curious to see how you do when you go to the grocery store and you're in that same position.
Yeah.
But here's one of the things I want to look at when we're doing any type of trauma, even a trauma that's been past. Post surgeries are huge. When you have these trauma, we talked about it earlier, you have inflammation. That inflammation not only can be in the disc and the nerves and the tissues, and when it does that, it causes a decreased frequency of firing in the nerve, like we talked about, or it compresses it and slows it down. So even years afterwards, many times that these nerves have not been reset to the highest state. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to take a pinwheel, which is the pain fibers. So we have a nerve, and in the nerve, there's three types of fibers. The small little tiny ones are your pain fibers. The mediums are more muscle spindles, and the big ones are vibration and light touch. It's the big ones, the vibration and the light touch, that inhibit pain. So we need to have the movement, and we have to have things working at a high rate, that nerve, in order to inhibit pain. So I'm pretty good at this. If I'm out working with any hand tools, I'm not very good at it, right? Give me a person, don't give me any hand tools. I'm out there, I'm working on the fence, I take a hammer and I hit my thumb, right? So I usually scream first, right? Now, when you scream, are you in pain?
Usually.
Not quite yet, but you know it's coming, right?
Yeah.
Ow, right? You scream, and then what's the second thing you do?
Grab whatever's hurting.
You grab it, right?
Yeah.
You touch it or rub it, or if mom's around, you want her to kiss it, right, for you. But you start shaking or anything like that. Why are you doing it? You're firing the large diameter fibers and joint muscle spindles to inhibit pain. It's called the gate theory of pain, and that's what we've done for a long time.
Wow.
So when I see this decreased range of motion, your joint's not moving that, I know that you're not inhibiting pain. So we want to check the large diameter fibers, and we're going to do that with the tuning fork and vibration. I'm going to do that with a Q-tip, and then I'm going to check the small fibers too as well in the area of the neck. So I'm going to do both sides. So we're going to use your fingers again like we did before, if you're all right with that. And then we're going to come back and reset those. This is fundamental, but it's so profound how well this works. Once you reset these fibers, then the healing really can begin, especially I see this after surgery. I see it a lot with a lot of reconstructives and surgeries. I see it in hip replacements, knee replacement. Anytime you've had major trauma, these nerves get turned down. And again, we can't have healing or immunology without the neurology. So we're going to come back and we're going to check those as well. So here we go. All right. Now, I'm going to take a little tuning fork, right, which is vibration. You okay there?
Just trying to lower the chair because my feet aren't hitting the ground.
Okay, well, let's switch chairs. This one's a little bit there. We'll get that one out of the way. We'll bring this in there. There, you can hit the ground for you. So I'm going to do one side at a time, okay? So we know this is strong now again, so hold up, hold that out, hold strong for me, okay? Now, we're going to use the tuning fork, and I'm going to come back to the deck. So that might be maybe a little buzz there. Feel that? Okay. It's just a light touch and vibration, so you feel that a little bit more there. So I'm coming down, all the way down, right? And I'm checking that. And hold strong for me. And we reset that, and that's doing good. So I like that. That's positive. Okay? Let's check the other side. So we know that's strong to start with. Coming here. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. All right. So just vibration. I could do it in sclerotone or duratone. This is just a general. Hold strong for me. That's good as well. Now, I'm going to take a Q-tip. This is very light sensation too as well. And I'm going to come all the way down. Excuse me. There we go. Different nerve fibers, so I'm getting a little bit everywhere. Real light touch. You don't want to do this too hard. Real light touch. Hold strong for me. I expect this to be strong, and it is. So this is predominantly the A fibers. I'll come down a little bit lower where she had that trauma. Hold strong for me. And again, if I would have checked these prior to doing all the work, they might have been weak, we're not sure. But again, I want to follow up. Pinwheel. It's a little pizza cutter, right? It's not very sharp, but it's just a little bit prickly. Yeah, that's what it is. I call it pizza. I call it pizza cutter because that's what most people think. But this is the pinwheel, racing wheel. She's pointing out to me. All right, can you feel that?
Yep.
Check that out. Hold strong. Pretty good. Not 100%, are we? Hold again. Yeah, that one's starting to go. So not 100%. I would say 50%. So let's say they're on 2 bars instead of 4 or 5 bars. Okay.
Why is it reacting different to different stimuli?
Yeah, because it's a different fiber. So that one, yeah, you can feel that one change, and you can feel that one just change.
Yeah.
Okay. So right side pretty good, left side not so good. Right. So again, this could be as a consequence probably of that trauma that we had a while back. So what are we going to do? We're going to laser, and I'm going to let you play this time. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to have you with your left hand. Yeah, put that right there. There we go. Breathe your hand. Why don't you take the right hand? You're probably that way I can get a little bit more here. So I want to come to the area that's had the trauma. So we know we had some disc bulging and some injury, probably some capsule stuff in the disc and the facet around there, and you can feel that it's already shifting. I can feel it shifting. Mm-hmm. You can feel that shifting. That's nice. So even years, this can be turned down from traumas. So just lasering resets the neurology. Nothing does it better. I can't tell you how cool this is. There we go. Let's feel it. Now, did it feel different on one side compared to the other? Is that why you asked the question? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. All right, let's check now. Hold. That's good. I'm going to do just a little bit on the other side though. Thank you. So you want to come to the area that really had the trauma, and then I like to trace the whole nerve all the way down the hand. You remember, this was the one that had the elbow involvement. She said both carpal tunnels. In the beginning, we talked that probably the carpal tunnels were a consequence of not problem here, but where? Higher up in the neck, right? So you always have to look at the higher centers. We did some things with Nissan many years ago. Joe Coincourt, really famous physical therapist, and that pretty much proved that we could keep people from having to have carpal tunnel surgery 70% of the time. So if you're thinking about carpal tunnel surgery, you probably want to look to see getting a really good examination. You have to have weakness in your hands in order for it to be true carpal tunnel. Just pain is not enough, because the sensory fiber goes over the top, so it's not underneath the retinaculum. That's the one that gives you pain. The motor goes underneath, okay? So just a little bit of tidbit, because we hate to see people have to do surgery if they really don't need it. Pull strong for me, and there we go. So that's good. So those are the things that we're looking at. We want to reset the nerve fibers, okay? So that's how you reset the nerve fibers, using the area, using the laser on the area of involvement while you're doing whatever makes them weak, whether it's the large nerve fibers, whether it's the small nerve fibers, and the pain. So that's going to conclude that. Really important though for trauma.